Hi, everybody. Welcome to yoga class. We're going to get started right away. So we're going to start in a seated position today. Nathan, my yogi husband, is here. This is one way you can be sitting. He's sitting on a block with one foot in front of the other, knees lower than the hips. I'm sitting on my knees on a meditation bench. You can sit in a chair if you need to. The important thing is that you can keep your spine in neutral. So the hips want to be, if you're seated on the floor, the hips want to be a little bit higher than the knees. So sit on a bolster or a yoga block in an easy cross-legged position for you, or you can sit in a chair, as long as you can keep your spine nice and straight. We're going to have our hands resting in the lap at the beginning, and we're just going to start by bringing our attention to the breath. Hi, Shogar. So we're going to focus on the breath, breathing in and out through the nose. Shoulders are relaxed. Feel free to close your eyes. And feeling the air as it enters the nostrils, fills the lungs, and exit through the nostrils. We're not worried about timing just yet. Just tuning into our natural breath. And now bringing some intention to the breath, begin to lengthen your exhales. Breathing into a count of 4, exhaling 8, in for 4, out for 8, in, out, in, and out. And release. So we're going to move into our Ujjayi breath. The Ujjayi breath will help us to control the timing of the breath, especially on the exhale. So for the Ujjayi breath, you want to pretend like you're fogging a mirror. So you're squeezing the back of the throat just slightly and forcing air through it. And so you can do that with your lips closed. You're still exhaling through your nose, but you are going to find a hissing sound. Okay, so we're going to do that especially on the exhale. In for 4 and out for 8. Begin with an inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. In for 4, out for 8. In and out. In for 4 and out. In for 4 and retain the breath for 8. And exhale 8. In for 4, holding for 12. Exhale 8. Inhale 4, holding 16. Exhaling 8. And release. Wobble the spine slightly. Nice relaxed shoulders. And just allow your breath to normalize. Breathing in and out through the nose. Not forcing any timing, just noticing the breath again. Notice if it's changed from when we first sat. And release. Very nice. One more breath we're going to do today. We're going to do our full yogic breath. So for the yogic breath, we're filling the lungs from the bottom of the lungs to the top. And then we're going to take 2 sips in to fill the lungs completely. Hold for just a moment and then exhaling 8. So in for 4, in the belly, the chest to the throat, 2 sips. and exhaling 8. Okay, so you might want to place a hand on the belly and a hand on the chest to help you feel where the breath is going. So when we breathe all the way to the bottom of the lungs, the belly is going to expand, then into the top, all the way up, and 2 sips. Here we go. Breathing into the belly, the chest, all the way to the throat, 2 sips, and exhale 8. Again, breathing into the belly, the chest, all the way to the throat, 2 sips, and exhale 8. Again, breathing into the belly, the chest, all the way to the throat, 2 sips, and exhale. Last one, breathing into the belly, the chest, to the throat, 2 sips, and exhale. Release the hands, release the shoulders, and sitting still for just a minute. And release. Let's come to laying on our backs in Shavasana, corpse pose. Lying on the mat, feet are as wide as the mat. Arms are away from the sides. Palms are facing the ceiling. And let everything go. Releasing any cares from the day. And just melting into the ground. And gently bringing your awareness back into the room, wiggling your fingers and toes, rolling the wrists and ankles. Roll completely onto one side and press yourself up with the top hand to sit. So we're going to come to our Sukhasana, our easy sitting position, spine nice and straight. If you have a hard time getting your spine straight here, you can be sitting on a block as well. And we're going to start with just opening up the chest and shoulders a little bit. So starting with rolling the shoulders, we're going to reach them forward, up and back, making big circles, releasing any tension. And release and reverse the circle, back and up. Good. And release. Good. Opening up the upper back. We're going to link the hands, clasp the hands together in front of you. Turn your hands out. Press away from you. Pull the chest back, looking slightly down, opening up the back. Inhale up, reach your arms towards the ceiling. Good. Reaching up and release the elbows, release the hands down just a little bit. If it's hard for you to get your hands all the way up, you don't have to straighten your elbows all the way. Nathan is pretty flexible when it comes to everything. So if that's hard for you to do, you can just come up halfway, such as this. Okay. So we're going to inhale the arms up and we're going to go into a twist. Inhale, exhale, and twist to the right. Good. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale through center. And release the arms down. Good. We're going to do one more. We're going to take the arms forward again, clasp the hands, turn the palms out, exhale, inhale, arms over the head. You can keep the elbows bent if you need to here. We're going to go to the side. Exhale, sideways bend. Good. Keeping both sit bones on the ground. Inhale up through center. And exhale to the other side. Inhale up through center. And release the arms all the way down. Beautiful. Simple twist. Take your left hand across the right knee. Back of the hand is on the right knee. The other arm is behind you on the floor. Lengthen, inhale. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist. Take one breath here, inhaling and exhaling. And inhale, releasing to center. And then we'll do the other side. Right hand on the left knee, other right hand is behind you. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale into the twist. Taking one breath here, inhale. Exhale into the twist. . And inhale, releasing to center. Wobble the spine, loosen up the spine. And then we're going to come to tabletop position, hands and knees. The hands are directly below the shoulders, in line with the shoulders. Hands are nice and bright, nice and flat. As always, whenever we have our hands down, we want that first knuckle of the index finger on the mat, keeping the palms, all the four corners of the palms are on the mat. Knees are below the hips. We're going to go into our cat-cat. So we're going to inhale, lengthen the spine, and then lift the head and tail. Exhale, tuck the head and tail, pull the belly button in towards the spine. Inhale into your length, lift the head and tail, reach the heart forward. Use the arms to traction the upper body forward. Exhale, tuck the head and tail, pull the belly button in. Inhale into your length. Lift the head and tail slightly. So in the upward part, exhaling, pull the belly button towards the ribs. Inhaling up. So in this part, we want to keep ourselves nice and long, more than we're lifting the head and tail. Exhale, tuck the head and tail. And releasing to center. Good. Sit back on the heels just for a moment and roll the wrists, letting any tension out. Good. From here, we're going to go back into tabletop and then to our open twist. So you're going to take your right hand underneath your heart and open the left arm up to the ceiling. Inhale, keep your length, looking up. Reaching the top arm up, reaching the bottom hand down. Keep that first knuckle on the ground. And release back to tabletop. Taking the left hand under your heart. Open the other hand up to the ceiling. Lengthening both directions. Four corners of the palm are on the mat. And release down to center. Good. Hands are under the shoulders. Knees are under the hips, and we're going to go into a simple balance. So take your right foot back and lift it up to about the height of your hips. And then take the left arm forward. Nice. Looking down at the floor, pull your belly button towards the spine. Good. Reaching out the back heel, reaching out the front hand. Keep your breath going. And release back to tabletop. Excellent. Other side. Take your left foot back and up to the level of the hip. Right arm forward, over your head like Superman, reaching forward, reaching back. Pull the belly button towards the spine. Keep reaching, looking down at the ground. And release to tabletop position. Good. Sitting back on the heels and moving into child's pose. Folding the torso over the thighs, resting the forehead on the mat. Arms are by your sides and the palms are up. And when you're ready, come out of child's pose. Place your hands on the ground to support you as you roll up to sit. Lovely. From here, we're going to go to downward facing dog. So take your hands to the top of the mat. Arms are as wide as the shoulders. And here it's really important to keep that first knuckle down on the mat. So your hands are nice and flat on the mat. The four corners of the palms are flat. Hands are nice and bright. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Keeping the hands nice and bright, reaching the hips up away from the hands. So you're getting a nice diagonal reach from the hands to the hips. And from here, pedal the feet, reaching one heel down to the ground and then the other, bending one knee and then the other. Good. Pressing both heels towards the mat, back into downward dog. So your heels should not be all the way down. If your heels are all the way down, you're probably standing, your feet are a little too close to your hands, so you can take your feet slightly away. And release, lower the knees gently to the ground and sit back in child's pose. Good, we're gonna come back to downward dog one more time. So place your hands at the top of the mat. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, reach the hips back. Four corners of the palm are on the mat. From here, we're gonna take one leg up in the air. Keep it nice in line with the arms and the back. Nathan can go quite a bit higher than that, but most of you are going to be about here. And bringing the leg back down. Good, taking the other leg up. Reach out through the heel. And release it down. Excellent. Gently lower your knees to the mat and sit back on the heels, coming to child's pose one last time. And when you're ready, place your hands down on the mat. Support yourself as you roll out of the pose, up to sit. Nice. From here, we're going to come to all fours. And from here, we're going to come to our low runner's lunge. So take your right foot forward between the hands. Good. So you want to make sure here that your knee, the forward knee, is directly over the ankle, not forward or back, not in or out. If you looked directly over your knee, you should only see your foot sticking out, not your ankle at all. Okay, back knee is on the ground. If that is uncomfortable, if you have a carpet, you're fine, but if you're on a hard surface, it might be difficult. I have a piece of a cut up yoga mat, but you can always put a blanket or a small cushion underneath the knee to help cushion that knee. Tucking the toes under. We're going to take our forearms crossed over the thigh. And then we're going to take our hands to our hips. And we're going to bend and straighten into that front knee. Make sure that the knee does not come forward of the ankle. So the position you were just in is the deepest you're going to go. Take your own time. So right now we're opening up that back thigh. Good. Come to the forward part of the lunge. Cross the forearms over the thigh. We're going to lift and lower that back knee. So tuck those back toes and lift the knee off the ground. Reach the heel towards the back of the mat. And gently lower the knee back down. Beautiful. Again, lifting the knee, reaching the heel back. And gently lower. And one last time, lift the knee, reach the heel back. And gently lower. Moving into our full crescent lunge from this position, we're going to reach the hands forward and up. Reach them up to the ceiling. And you're going to lift the eyes slightly. So we have a nice even arch from the shoulders all the way to the back heel. Nice even slope. And release the arms down, putting the hands down on either side of that front foot. Take the front foot back to tabletop position, all fours. Nice. And you can reach one leg back and the other, just loosen up the hips. And then we're going to do the other side. Taking that left foot forward, flat on. The feet here are about hip width apart, so it's coming straight forward of the position it is in tabletop, straight forward of the hip. Get that knee directly over the ankle. And then we're going to bring the forearms to the thigh and the hands to the hips. And then we're going to come forward and back. Remember, the knee never comes forward of the ankle. Opening up that back hip. Good. Coming to the forward part of the lunge now, place your forearms on the thigh, and we're going to lift and lower that back leg. So tuck the toes, lift the knee, reach the heel back, and gently lower the knee. Lift the knee, reach the heel back, and gently lower. One last time, lift the knee, reach the heel, and gently lower. From here, we're going to move into our full crescent lunge, reaching the arms forward and up to the ceiling. Lift the eyes slightly. Keep breathing. Slow, natural breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. And gently lower the hands. Take the front leg back to tabletop. Reach the legs back one at a time. Good. From here, we're going to go into our plank pose. So finding the wrists directly below the shoulders. Keeping the hands bright and flat, just like we did in downward dog. We're going to take the right leg back, preparing for our plank. The toes are tucked under. And when you're ready, you're going to bring the other leg back to meet it. Pulling your belly button towards the spine. And gently lower one leg and then the other. And again, reaching the right leg back, tucking the toes, finding your stability with your core, Reach the other leg back. Keep breathing. And lower one leg and then the other. And one more time, taking the right leg back, tucking the toes, finding the stability in your core, and reaching the other leg back to meet it. Keep the breath going. And gently lower one knee and then the other. And come to lying on your back in Shavasana. So if you have a cushion on the floor, you can move it out of the way. Laying fully on the back. Feet are as wide as the mat. Toes are falling out to the side. Palms are facing the ceiling. And let everything go. Letting go of the breath. Letting go of any tension. And bringing your attention back into the room. Remain lying on your back, and we're going to set up our feet for bridge pose. So bring your feet just below the sit bones. They're about hip width apart. You should just be able to graze the ankles with your fingertips when you reach down. Keep your palms on the ground by the sides. And when you come up, you're going to want your knees to end up directly over the ankles. So pressing into bridge pose, press into the feet, lift the pelvis up high. Good. And gently roll back down and curling into a ball. Bring your knees up towards your chest, wrap the arms around the shins, and lift your head into a ball, bringing your nose towards your knees. And exhale, bringing your feet back down, releasing the arms. And lifting into bridge pose. Push through the feet, lift the hips. And gently rolling down, lower. Bring the knees towards the chest. Hug the knees towards the chest. Curling into a ball. And releasing the feet back to hip width apart. One more time. Lifting the hips, pressing the feet into the ground. And gently rolling down. And bringing the knees to the chest, hugging the knees to the chest, rounding out the back into a ball. And release the feet, extend the legs, the length of the mat, and release. Letting everything go. And moving into our happy baby pose. So bringing the knees towards the chest and the feet towards the ceiling. The knees are hip width apart. And from here, you're going to either catch the feet, the backs of the thighs, or the ankles. Pulling the feet, pulling the knees towards the ribs. The upper body is completely on the mat. Back of the head is on the mat. Shoulders are on the mat. If the tailbone lifts, then the tailbone lifts. But the upper body is completely on the mat. Keep the breath going. And releasing the hands, take your feet to the mat, directly under the sit bones. And from here, we're going to go into a spinal twist. So allow your knees to fall to the left. Take your arms out wide, lengthen them in both directions. Palms are facing the ceiling, and look away from the knees. Keep the breath going. Inhale. And on the exhale, bringing the knees up to center. And center your spine again. So you're all in alignment, straight through the center. And then allow the knees to fall to the left. And looking away from the knees, reaching the arms out long in either direction. Keep the breath going. Inhale. And on an exhale, bringing the knees up to center and extending the legs into Shavasana. Palms are facing the ceiling. Toes are falling out to the sides. And gently coming back into the room, rolling onto one side, press yourself up sideways to sit. And come to your Sukhasana, your easy sitting position. So this might be one foot in front of the other, as Nathan has just done. It can be cross-legged as well. And we're going to do a seated forward fold from here. So inhale, take the arms over the head. Exhale, dive, reach to the heart forward. Catch yourself on tented fingers. And when you get to the bottom of your forward fold, you're going to round out the back like a turtle. So bring your belly slightly in, especially the low abs, in towards the spine. Again, Nathan is very bendy, so he can get pretty low. You might not be this low, that's fine. You never want to move into any kind of pain or overstretch. You want it to be a nice, comfortable position. Good. From here, we're going to walk the hands towards you, coming halfway up. We're going to walk the hands over to one side towards the knee. And again, diving forward, walking the hands away, rounding the lower back like a turtle, pulling the belly towards the spine. And walking yourself halfway up, walk over to the other knee. And walk yourself out and down, rounding the back like a turtle. And the last time, walking yourself halfway up, walking to the center, and we're going to lower down one more time, walking the hands outward, pulling the belly towards the spine. And walking yourself all the way up. And release the legs in front of you, lengthen the legs in front of you, turn the legs in and out, loosen up the hips, loosen up the legs. And from here, we're going to come up to stand. And we're going to do a new pose today. We're going to do a simple triangle pose. So take your feet shoulder width apart. Feet are parallel. Hands in front of you in prayer position. Bring the arms over the head. So from here, you want to keep your posture. So if the hands need to be a little bit forward of your head, then that's ideal for you to be in the proper posture. So if you look up, you might see the pinky fingers. Let me adjust the camera here. Good. From here, we're going to inhale, reach up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend to the right. Bending at the waist, reaching over and to the side, lengthening into that sideways bend, keeping both heels planted on the ground. Again, Nathan is extremely bendy. You might not want to go that far. Inhale, reaching the hands up to the ceiling. Exhale, the other side. Good. Inhaling up to the ceiling and release. Very nice. Shake out the legs a little bit. Good. And we're going to go into our warrior two. So the feet are apart, wide apart. If we take your hands up, the widest your feet want to be is the ankles underneath the wrists. That's as wide as you want to be in this pose. Nathan is a little less than that. That's fine. It wants to be comfortable for you. Okay, so from here, we're going to turn the right foot out. So the toes are pointed towards the short end of the mat, and then you're going to bend into that front knee. The knee, again, directly over the ankle. Make sure that the back arch of the back foot is touching the mat. Don't let yourself roll onto the inner border of the foot. Look over that front bent knee, over the hand. Exhale, reaching out all your limbs, reaching out the crown of the head, reaching out the fingertips. Find your strength in the pose. This is our warrior pose. Good. To come out of the pose, you're going to press through the front foot, reach the head to the ceiling. Good. And turn that right foot back in parallel to the left. And then we're going to switch sides. Turn the left toes outward, facing the short end of the mat. Bend the knee over the ankle. Get that back foot fully on the ground. Back arch is touching the mat. Looking over that front hand, reaching out all the limbs. Good. Finding a nice even breath. From here, you might want to use your Ujjayi breath to help you get a little more strength in the pose. Good. Reaching the ceiling to the top, reaching the top of the head to the ceiling, rather. Push through the front leg, straightening the knee, turning that left leg in, and then we're going to bend the knees slightly and heel toe the feet towards each other. Releasing the arms. Very nice. Releasing the legs. Very good. Moving into our balancing pose, our tree pose. We're going to start. When we plant a tree, the first thing we have to do is dig a hole. So take your right foot forward and dig a hole with the ball of the foot. Place the foot on the ground. Shift your pelvis, shift your weight over that foot, and take the other leg. It can be outward on the toe. It can be right next to your foot on the toe. It can be on the calf, or it can be on the inner thigh, but you do not want it on the knee. Please don't place it on the knee. So from here, pressing the foot into the standing leg and the standing leg into the foot, taking the hands together in prayer position, pressing the palms together, reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Find a focal point. Keep your eyes on that focal point. And gently release the leg and release the arms. Move your dog. And we're going to come to the other side. Digging your hole. Placing the sole of the foot down. Shifting the pelvis, shifting the weight. And place your other leg either outward on the toe, inward on the toe, on the calf, or on the upper thigh. Just not on the knee. Opening that knee towards the side. Foot goes into the leg, leg goes into the foot. Hands in prayer position, press the palms together, finding your focus. Keep the breath going. And releasing the leg, releasing the hands. And our final pose, mountain pose, Tadasana. Feet are together. The four corners of each foot are firmly on the ground. Take your hands together in prayer position and reaching the arms over the head, lifting the eyes slightly. Again, the hands are not directly over the head, they're slightly forward. So if you look up, you should be able to see your pinky fingers. And when you're ready, close your eyes, holding only 1 minute. And gently releasing the hands, releasing the feet, and coming to our final relaxation. Lying on the back, feet are as wide as the mat, toes are falling out. Palms are facing the ceiling. Letting everything go. Relaxing the feet. Relaxing the knees. Letting go of the hips. Releasing the belly. Softening the shoulders. Releasing the arms. Relaxing the face and the jaw. Resting completely in Shavasana. And gently bringing your awareness back into the room, rolling the wrists and ankles, reaching your arms over your head. Take a nice deep stretch. And stretching to the left side and then the right. And rolling completely onto one side. Press yourself up sideways to sit. Well done. Good to see some people here today, live, and hope that those who are making it via the video, I hope you're enjoying yourself. Remember, we're here every Wednesday at 5:30 to 6:30, and I hope to see you next week. Have a lovely week, everybody. Namaste.